World of Warcraft has a bunch of races, and as you can see, they have a bunch of new races that are coming in as well for the new expansion. This new expansion is supposed to be all about races, and so far confirmed there's 8 new races for the new expansion. We can't see them all here. We can only see 6 of the new ones, but let's talk about race and how you should pick race. Well, first of all, you have to choose what faction you want to be, whether it's Alliance or Horde. You can't play both, guys. Well, you can play both, but on separate characters. What I'm saying is one character cannot share both factions, Horde and Alliance, unless you keep transferring them over, and you would have to be absurdly rich for that. So, anyway, let's go down. So you have humans, dwarves, night elves, gnomes, Draenei, Worgens, and Pandoria for the Alliance. Okay, then for the Alliance races, for the new races that are coming for the new expansion, you have Void Elf, Lightforge, and you have Dark Iron dwarves. All right. So on Horde you have orcs, undeads, Tauren, troll, blood elf, goblins, and you also have Pandoran, because Pandoran can choose between Horde or Alliance at a certain level. So you're free to pick that and just choose what faction you want to play later. For allied races, for the Horde, you have Nightborn, you have High Mountain Tauren, and you have the Maghar orcs. Okay, I guess that's what it is, and they're pretty much straight back orcs. They're really dope, actually. I don't think we're going to be able to play them at launch. I'm not 100% sure. So this is going to be brief on these guys because I don't really know too much about them. But the way I recommend that you choose a race is immersing into a class. So say like, oh, you want to be a goblin rogue because you want to be small and sneaky or whatever, and it's funny because trolls are like massive. Trolls are bigger than Tauren, and they can be rogues, and you can also scare people coming out of stealth as a big character on somebody because it's just like, holy crap, what's this, you know. But for Alliance, I guess the thing that most people, I love dwarves personally, but I think the thing that most people look at when they choose a race is their ratios. Now I'm going to go over all the ratios, but not for the Alliance races because those are due to change because it's beta, but I think some of these are as well. So human has like a trinket that gets you out of impairing effects, which is stuns, slows, all sorts of stuff like that. You can press it and it'll pop you clean out of there. Dwarf has iron skin, which pretty much makes it eats all poisons and damage over time, magic effects, bleeds on you, and makes you immune to them for the duration of the state, which is stone form, I believe, or iron form or something like that. I think it's stone form, right? But night elves can stealth. They have something called shadow mail, which allows them to stealth at any given moment. And this is really cool because if you're playing a class like a warrior or any class, just think about some of the benefits that you can have from just stealthing out of anywhere. Just like poof. And they're just like, where the hell did that guy go? See, smart players will try to AoE you out. Newer players, they'll never be able to know. They'll just think you left or something like that. And even mobs that you're fighting, if you get in trouble, you just poof, you just press the button and boom, you're gone. You're out of there. Right? So here you have gnome. Gnomes are really cool because they're really small, like goblins. And if you ever want to play a very small, sneaky assassin type character, or a small caster, just a little guy throwing big bolts, or just a little guy being a warrior, or something like that, I think it's really funny. It's really all up to you and what you want to create. You know, what helps you immerse into the game. Draenei, they have a heal that heals them for 20% of their health, I believe, 15 to 20%. I don't know, one of those percentages. And gnome slips out of things like roots and things like that because they're so small. You know, the ratios kind of play along into that whole lore in theory of them being small. You know what I mean? They're small, they can slip out of stuff like ropes, and if you tie them up, they can like bounce out of there because they're so small. Right? Worgens have a sprint, which is really cool. They're also like, see the human back there, they're the human, and then they can switch into this thing when they go into combat, the wolf, and I guess that's kind of cool. All right, so here we go, Pandorians, and what Pandorians are able to do is get a massive food buff from drinking stuff, as well. I believe they have an incapacitate, so they can kind of stun people, I believe, but it's very long cooldown, but it's really cool. So here we have orcs. Orcs pretty much have a damage boost, like a bloodlust or something like that. I would say they just press it and it's just like they just get strong. They get a little bit bigger, and it's kind of like a berserking, if you would. Okay, undeads get to be immune to fear. They have a ratio that takes off fear. They're not immune to it, but they are immune to it while they're in that state. Taurens pretty much stomp, and the stomp is really useful whether you're range or melee, because it's just a 2-second stun. So they stomp on the ground and they stun anyone next to them. So it's really good for melee if you don't have a stun, like say a paladin. You can run up next to someone and then you can stun them. So it comes in handy. You just figure out how you can use them and play towards your liking, like what you like to do. So trolls, they have a 15% haste boost. Trolls are my favorite race so far until the new trolls come out at some point, right? So trolls are really dope because of their lore. I would encourage you guys, if you find a race that you really like, get into the lore. They have so much lore, it's not even funny. I'm dead serious. Like all these races have so much lore. It's really cool. Right, so then you have blood elves, which have an AoE silence, which I believe is getting changed in the expansion. Not 100% sure yet on that. Goblins have rocket boots and a rocket that launches at people. I'm gonna be honest, the rocket that launches at people doesn't really do a lot of damage, but the boots, oh my goodness, it can help you close a gap or create a gap if you're running from somebody. So that's really dope. So here you have the Void Elves, which are some type of weird variant of like the Blood Elf for Alliance. Then you have the Nightborn, which is I don't know what these elves are. These elves just look crazy. they look like they on something. The Lightforged Draenor for them for the Alliance, and you can look at more to this stuff later. I believe they have it on the actual World of Warcraft website of these classes, but these races, and 4 of these are actually out right now, which is the Void Elf, Nightborn, Lightforge, and the High Mountain Tauren. High Mountain Tauren has a charge. I'm not sure what this race has. I primarily play Horde, so that's where you're gonna see myself at. But I love dwarves, so I wish Dark Iron Dwarves were Horde because I would be one all day. But we have these orcs, and these orcs kind of look really cool. So does these guys actually. Let me see what kind of hairstyles they can get up in there. They got some pretty cool stuff. But you won't be able to play any of these as a new player. And as a veteran or something like that, or someone that's been playing on World of Warcraft for a long time, that's still currently playing, you would already know or have most of these races. But this is more towards new players, and these are the races right here that you'll be having to choose from as a new player. Starting out the game today. So that's what I'm kind of focused on. Later on, I'll maybe do a more in-depth guide or a separate video for the allied races once everything's confirmed and packed down. But for right now, these are the races that you have to choose from, and I'm going to leave you with this. Play Horde because Horde rocks, and Alliance, what